Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We start the proceeding with the recitation of the Holy Quran for this final session, concluding session of course 3 of Tashilul Quran program. So I like to request N6161 to please start recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الذين يتلون كتاب الله وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية يرجون تجارة لن تبور ليوفيهم أجورهم ويزيدهم من فضله إنه غفور شكور. I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the accursed, in the name of Allah the gracious, the merciful. Surely, only those who follow the book of Allah and observe prayer, and spend out of what we have provided for them, secretly and in public, look for a bargain which will never fail, in order that He may give them their full rewards, and even increase them out of His bounty. He is surely most forgiving, most appreciating.
Okay, Jazakumullah, thanks very much indeed. Now for the Nazm, actually there was a little confusion about ID because G1 students, they have their own ID, but this concluding session is happening in G2 class, so there was one confusion with regards to ID. So the one who like to recite the poem, can you please raise your hand, those who want to recite it. So let's see. Assalamu alaikum. Please repeat. Assalamu alaikum. And 6169.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Do you want to recite a poem?
Yeah.
Can you do that now?
Had a sticky bird, la numa. Had a sticky bird, la numa, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. Heather did Gitawa. Heather did Gitawa. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. किसी की चश्म में फंसूं साज ने किया जादू किसी की चश्म में फंसूं साज ने किया जादू तो दिल से निकली सदा तो दिल से निकली सदा ला इलाहा illallah, la ilaha illallah. जो फूंका जाएगा कानों में दिल के मुर्दों के, जो फूंका जाएगा कानों में दिल के मुर्दों के, करेगा हश्र रब पाक, करेगा हश्र रब पाला। इलाहा illallah, la ilaha illallah.
Okay, Jazakumullah. Thanks very much indeed. Next on agenda is in charge G1 will be presenting her report of the course.
Okay, Jazakumullah Hafsa. Okay, so let's start with the G1 report. So if the in-charge discipline could get the screen on to
Yeah.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Can you please make me co-host so I'll remove it?
Okay, no problem.
Jazakallah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay then. So Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm in charge G1. The course was for 6 to 14-year-olds, the same as G2, but the method of delivery was more appropriate to younger students who hadn't started the grammar G. But essentially we were delivering the same syllabus. Okay, so on the 8th of January 2018, the National Talimul-Quran and Waqf LC Department launched the third Tashilul-Quran course, a live national online program designed to teach 6 to 14-year-olds the correct pronunciation of the Holy Quran. There were two levels, G1 and G2. This presentation is a report on the aims and objectives, structure, delivery, challenges, outcomes, and feedback of the G1 level, as well as an overall structure for both levels. Next slide, please. The prime purpose of the course was to provide a sound understanding of the rules of recitation through rigorous practice of their application. It was intended to provide beginners with the right tools and foundation for beautifying their recitation and initiate their lifelong relationship with the Holy Quran with reasonable confidence. Next slide, please. Another prime objective was to try to inculcate in children the true love of the Holy Quran and Allah Ta'ala by placing major focus on praise for learning and by using Qaida as an interesting tool to make them aware of Quranic subjects such as attributes of Allah and prophets of Allah. A third important aim was to create a disciplined environment in young minds by adhering to mosque etiquette during online classes. Next slide, please. Emphasis was to be placed on correct pronunciation, especially of letters that are not natural to English speakers, such as Ain and Ghain. Emphasis was also to be placed on correct timing associated with each stroke and rule. Both of these are common recitational errors. Both of these issues change the meaning of what is being recited and therefore are major errors. Students were to be repeatedly reminded to pay heed to these issues. Next slide, please. To plan effective targeted lessons, a student profile was required. G1 classes were to cater to students who had not yet started reading the Holy Quran. Admission to the course was to be by application, and a prerequisite for the course was a knowledge of the Arabic alphabet. Next slide, please. The demand was high, and students were enrolled with equal numbers for Atfal and Nasirat. Classes were held Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. There were 5 certified Quran teachers on G1, 4 dedicated support teachers, a team providing IT support, an admin team, and these were all under the leadership of one head teacher. Teachers were selected after completing the National Quran Class course held January to March 2017 at Bakal Futur. Selected teachers were required to have achieved A or A+ in the oral examination and to be competent in English language. The role involved everything from preparation of lesson plans, actual delivery of lessons, and post-lesson reports. Guidance to teachers was to be provided by the group in charge under the direct supervision of the head teacher. As was just mentioned, 4 support teachers were also available for G1. They were to provide assistance to the day teacher. The role involved admission into class of only those students with correct ID and allocating mic according to a fair system. In addition, they were to make day teacher aware of loss of sound or visual and were able to scan material to assist when technical difficulties occurred. In the case of loss of internet connection of day teacher during the live class, support teachers were also expected to step into the role of teaching. They had the role of in-charge discipline also. The role of the support teacher was a dynamic and demanding one and did require presence of mind. Next slide, please. If I may have the next slide.
Yeah, I'm just trying. It's hanged. I don't know why.
Maybe you close this presentation, this file, and open again.
Yeah, it's done. Jazakallah.
So there was also to be further support team that provided IT support, and their role enabled the technical provision of classes and the processing of recorded classes afterwards. An admin team were to deal with email queries from parents. In short, a large team provided many man-hours to deliver each 1-hour online class. The pilot scheme for the first course, which started in March of 2017, spanned 10 weeks, but it was felt that more time would yield better results in a more relaxed manner, and so subsequent courses have been allocated 12 weeks. A condensed syllabus based on the Talimul-Quran book was to be taught, and briefly the syllabus was harakat, madda, sukoon, tashdid, assimilation, as well as other rules. The teaching panel was provided a schedule of the lessons to cover each week. The teaching panel did have a sound knowledge base, but guidance was provided to create achievable lesson plans, good delivery methods, and consistency across lessons. The teaching panel was based nationwide, and so communication was via electronic methods. The day teacher and the support teacher needed to work closely prior to class, and this required communication on a daily basis to coordinate smooth delivery. The day teacher provided a daily report of the class to the group in charge, who was responsible for acting upon any urgent issue. The role and availability of the in charge was important, as was the need for prompt responses to communications and early identification of potential issues. To facilitate one of the course aims, every class was to be opened by reciting selected du'as from Quran and Ahadith and of the Prophet Muhammad. Students were to be encouraged to read them repeatedly and preferably commit to memory also. To facilitate another course aim, that of knowledge of Quranic subjects, presentations were to be delivered. To facilitate a third course aim, that of discipline, strong repeated reminders were announced of what was expected of students in their pre-class routine, as well as their behavior during class. Teaching on this mixed age, mixed ability online platform presented challenges which included how to keep the interest of all students. Setting a pace suited to all students whilst delivering the full syllabus was also a consideration. By the grace of Allah, team members cooperated well to overcome issues that arose. Support and guidance was always available. The number attending this third... Okay, if you can just... Thank you. The number attending this third term was the highest so far, and so admitting students into class, whilst ensuring correct ID was in use, physically required more time than in previous terms. Alhamdulillah, teachers gave more time to set up classes earlier, and students cooperated well by arriving early. This greatly assisted in prompt start of classes, thus ensuring a full 60 minutes of teaching. Classes were recorded and made available to students on the Talimul-Quran website via a login. They were also made available to the general public via YouTube. Students were recommended to view these to consolidate learning. Of the 60 G1 classes delivered, 59, alhamdulillah, were successfully recorded and posted online. Students were given one external examination, but their progress was monitored internally also via the daily teacher's report of class. In previous terms, many students appeared to have prior knowledge and were on the course to improve their knowledge. The previous courses were thus paced accordingly. This term was the young cohort, with more at complete beginners level than in previous terms. The student profile the course is aimed at is exactly such students, that is, complete beginners with recognition of letters as the only requirement. Adjustments in the delivery of this third course were made to ensure all students were catered for and given the best basis for advancement. This included homework, which was adjusted according to teachers' feedback in their reports, fewer presentations to allow for more teaching time, proper direction for revision during school holidays, and a further dedicated week of revision. Recitation improved markedly after the revision week. Students had also been led through certain du'as to assist learning at the beginning of every class. Many students had memorized these by the end of the course, but it is felt that many need work in this respect. The pace of the course was monitored. Feedback from the parents was that the students coped with the pace, and teachers felt that the revision week was an important factor in this. The availability of the recordings played a crucial part, with some parents stating that daily assigned homework had not been done, but had been revisited at the weekend with the aid of the recordings. Next slide, please. Further honing of delivery is always possible. Identified areas of improvement include an adjustment to the interactive facility available to students. Removing the hands-up facility would greatly assist efficient location of students and facilitate an easier-to-enable system for fair mic allocation. Many parents have suggested this also. Unfortunately, this is a default setting on the Zoom platform, and teachers were reliant on the cooperation of students to not raise their hands. Communication during class to teachers was an issue raised by parents during consultation. There is a chat facility available to allow for communication between students and parents and teachers during live class. This was removed in previous terms due to inappropriate use by students. Possibly, this could be reintroduced since there are now enough support staff to remove students who misuse the facility. Feedback from parents suggested that email communication is not the best means for their lifestyles. A text messaging service could possibly be considered. Embedded links within emails was suggested as an easy-to-use facility for parents. Even easier would be embedded links via possibly WhatsApp or text messages. Time was spent on short presentations to assist students with login procedure. These presentations ate considerably into teaching time in initial classes. There were also many announcements. It is felt that these possibly were not the best means to train parents and students in, for example, login procedure. A one-off training class to explain correct login procedure, discipline requirements, expected pre-class routines, and other such matters, including using recordings and time management, might possibly be worthwhile for the future. More external examinations would also enable examination of all students. Time to allocate to these is a consideration, since more exams does equal less teaching time. But using the breakout room facility on Zoom could be explored to facilitate more exams and to give all students a chance to be examined. Support teacher training for all teachers is something to also consider. Next slide, please. So for the future, before the next course, teachers are required to reflect on their experiences to develop delivery methods. Students should read daily and practice. Inshallah, their recitation will become fluent and elegant. They should continue reading and practicing daily on their journey to build a lasting relationship with the Holy Quran. Parents, in particular, should assist their children in their practice by being available themselves ideally, creating a calm environment for their recitation and setting a routine for their children, and most especially ensuring proper etiquette at all times when reading Quran. Jazakumullah, and that concludes the presentation for G1.
Okay, Jazakumullah, thanks very much indeed. MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah, G1 team has profoundly contributed to the classes and completed the course very well, MashaAllah. And with regards to the parents and teachers meeting, some very important feedback and points have come up. And inshallah, we will improve this course more with regards to, from teachers' point of view, students more facility, and parents, inshallah. So thanks very much indeed. So next is G2 in charge. Could you please present your report? So G2.
Jazakallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Next slide, please. Jazakallah. So in G2, students aged 6 to 12 years who had completed at least one reading of the Holy Quran followed a syllabus designed to improve their Quranic recitation. Students with an existing knowledge base revised basic rules of recitation and developed knowledge of more advanced rules. For this course, recitation practice was emphasized to facilitate rule application. Next slide, please. A total of 59 classes were held, which included an introductory and concluding session. Classes were held every weekday from 7 to 8 p.m. over a 12-week period, and these classes were recorded and uploaded onto the Nqc website for public viewing. The G2 teaching panel for this course consisted of 4 certified Quran teachers, who also taught in courses 1 and 2. 5 support teachers assisted in the delivery of G2 classes, 2 of which were new additions to the panel in this course. The G2 team was headed by the in-charge, who worked under the supervision of the head teacher. In this course, the syllabus was expanded to include an additional lesson. In total, 5 lessons were taught over the 12-week period. The first lesson explored the 20 most common errors in Quranic recitation. In lesson number 2, students learnt how to correctly perform waqf in 10 different cases from the Holy Quran. In lesson 3, students were taught how to correctly articulate 10 of the most mispronounced Arabic letters. In lesson 4, this was the newly introduced lesson. In this lesson, students were taught some additional important advanced rules of tajweed. And in the final lesson, lesson number 5, difficult extracts from the Holy Quran were used to test the ability of students to correctly apply all rules taught in the course. Next slide, please. Lessons were accompanied by the practical application of rules in Quranic text. For this course, students worked particularly from parts 27 and part 28 of the Holy Quran. Students were also examined on rule application through an internal assessment and an external examination. In addition to taught lessons, students also benefited from a number of interesting presentations on various topics related to the Holy Quran. Next slide, please. The syllabus was taught using PDFs and presentations created by the National Talimul-Quran department, in addition to some accompanying revision slides. All content was based on the book Tashilul. Next slide, please. After each lesson, electronic reports were completed by teachers and submitted online to the in-charge. A mic allocation record was maintained, which recorded which students were given the microphone in each lesson, along with the maximum attendance of each lesson. This record was updated by teachers on a daily basis and was maintained throughout all 12 weeks of the course. Efforts were made to share the microphone fairly between Atfal and Nasirat. This was done by giving priority to students who had not been given the mic often. Part of the role of the support teacher was to manage microphone allocation fairly between students. In this course, a daily mic list was also introduced in G2 to make it easier to identify which students were to be given the microphone in a given lesson. This was based on how many times they'd been given the mic in the past. IDs were listed in separate columns which corresponded to the number of times a student had received the mic, and this list was also updated by teachers on a daily basis after each lesson. Both records were shared via an online spreadsheet which was accessible to the entire G2 teaching panel. Next slide, please. The first parent-teacher consultation was held in week 11 of the course. This session allowed parents to share their experiences and feedback with the groups in charge. This proved to be a very valuable session with many important points being raised. During this meeting, it was noted that fathers were also playing a very active role in facilitating the teaching of the Holy Quran at home. It was very pleasing to learn that this course was being treated as a family affair in many households, where all members were present to benefit from classes, and it is hoped that this practice will continue once the course ends. Next slide, please. In terms of challenges, we recognise that teaching a large number of students of different ages and abilities posed a number of challenges which the team has been working to address since course 1. There were, of course, also some technical issues which we were confronted with due to the nature of teaching on an online platform. By the grace of Allah, however, the G2 team were extremely impressed with the dedication and hard work of our students. It has been very rewarding to watch students progress over the duration of the course. Next slide, please. The G2 teaching panel has also grown considerably in experience and confidence since last year's pilot scheme. With the conclusion of course 3, we will take some time to reflect on how best to improve the delivery of future courses. We also look forward to expanding the team further to meet the growing needs of this course. We wish our students the very best, and we pray that they continue on this lifelong journey of studying the Holy Quran. Jazakallah.
Jazakumullah. Thanks very much indeed to G2 whole team, and especially in particular G2 in charge. Mashallah, alhamdulillah, both courses G1, G2 went very well, and this was course 3, 12-week course, and definitely we have improved, but there is always a room for improvement in every course or any program, and we have no exception to that. So inshallah ta'ala, as in the report of G1 it has been mentioned that we are going to break rooms to facilitate more students, so that personal attention, time should be given to them. Inshallah we will do that. and some other very important points have come up. So I would like to request the parents, the mothers who should come forward for as a sport teacher or as an assistant teacher, or even as a in the capacity of the teaching role. Please write your interest and register your interest by email or text info@nqc.org.uk, because the next course, course 4, will be starting late in September this year, so that we have now 5 months to prepare more accurately and more concisely and profoundly about this course, inshallah. And we aim at best delivery in the next course from various angles where we have noted down some red book points. So now is yes. Now, according to the program, is feedback from students, feedback from parents, and also the teachers. So where is that? So have they been allocated, those students? Assalamu alaikum. 85124. Raise your hand. So what do you want to say now? Do you want to say something?
Yours different. Wait.
Okay, let me now find out who is that. Assalamu alaikum, G2 in charge.
Islam, yep.
Okay, what about students and teachers' feedback? How to do that? What's that?
G1 students, they have IDs beginning with A1, I think with N1 as well. So anyone in the participants list can be selected. I think we have A1175 and A1183 from G1.
Okay. Just a minute. So you are co-host now. Can you please pick up for this job?
Yes, A1175 is muted.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Assalamualaikum.
Yes, G2 in charge, please carry on.
A1175.
Yeah.
And would you like to share any feedback regarding your experiences in the course? How you found the lessons? What you may like to see in future courses?
I think it is better that if you ask the parents, because they will be giving more. If any student wants to give, no problem, welcome. But might be parents will be more inclined.
Sure, yeah. I'm going to unmute N6131 and A1126.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, good. Do you have a parent that's with you at the moment that would like to on the course?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank you and your team for everything, for all the class, for all the education which you have given to our children, and especially to Hafizab also. And secondly, the thing is that what my daughter, she has done a lot of things in this class. And my son also, he has done a lot of things in this class. And now it's time that whatever they have learned, now it's time to practice it during their daily tilawat.
Okay, Jazakumullah, thanks very much indeed. And now next, please.
N6174. Assalamu alaikum, N6174. Okay, let's try A5124.
Hello? Hello?
A5147.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Okay, what do you want to say?
First of all, I want to say a big thank you for everything that you have done. Like, I have really learned a lot from before. Everything that I've been taught, I really didn't know all of that.
Okay, mashallah, jazakumullah, thanks very much indeed. Keep practicing, and your mom or dad wants to share their feelings?
I don't know, because I don't know where my mom is.
Okay, don't worry. Jazakumullah, thanks very much. And now if I unmute N6173, Assalamu alaikum. Okay, 6174. N6174.
Assalamu
Yes, please.
Assalamualaikum.
6153.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are you?
Yes, alhamdulillah. What do you like to say?
I like to say that this class actually helped me learn more, because before I didn't know that much, but now I know lots of things after being in G1 and G2, and there's only one thing I want to say, that
Yes, what's the point?
sometimes when people put their videos on, it's like very distracting, and even when the teacher said you don't turn it off.
Yes. Okay, we have no. Anything else?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so because we have only 7 minutes in this program, we are going to conclude. Um, in the end, I like to just read out three traditions, sayings of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So basically, the students and teachers of the Quran both have been admired and praised by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam many times. And the famous saying is that the best among you, خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلم. The best among you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches to others. And it is also narrated by Hadrat Abu Zar radiallahu ta'ala anhu that the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, addressing to him, that, O Abu Zar, it is better for you to learn a single verse of the Holy Quran in the morning rather to pray hundreds of rakat, yani nafal prayer. So learning the Quran and teaching the Quran is very, very rewarding. As mentioned that, yes, offering nawafil and namaz, salat is very good, is very rewarding as well. But when a person learns the Quran and teaches even one verse, he is basically enlightening another mind and to enrich or facilitate or motivating other mind to practice. And because each verse, each word, each letter recited in the Quran has at least double count, 10 counts of reward. So Hazrat Rasul Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that, O Abu Zar, it is better for you to learn a single verse in the morning. You start your day with the learning of the one verse. Even one verse you learn, it is better than you just engage yourself in worship of Almighty Allah. So making a comparison between the two, because when we learn the Quran, we become knowledgeable, become scholar. It's a long journey to become the scholarship, and it starts with learning one verse and second, third, and continue. So there are many, many layers. But the last the tradition I like to mention now, it is very, very stimulating, and whenever I read to that one, I feel energized in learning and teaching the Quran. And it is narrated on the authority of Hazrat Abdullah. It says, An Abdullah ibn Burayda al-Aslami, on the authority of Hazrat Abdullah bin Burayda al-Aslami, An Abihi radiyallahu anhu, he narrates this tradition which is coming from his father. So he narrates on the authority of his father, Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Man qara al-Qur'ana, the one who reads the Quran, wa ta'allamahu, and he reads the Quran and learned it, wa ta'allamahu, and he learns that, wa amila bihi, and he or she acts accordingly. So one first is reading the Quran, then learning it in a correct manner. Okay, so the first step is to correctly recite the correct recitation, وَتَعَلَّمَهُ, and what are inside, so including the rules, the application, the meaning. So according to the age, it will suffice to that person. وَعَمِلَ بِهِ, and according to the age, according to that's whatever the responsibilities and obligations in different periods of life, when he does that, ulbisa yawmal qiyamati taja min nur, that he will be on the day of judgment, will be given a crown of light. Taja min nur, a crown of light. Daw'uhu mislu daw shamsi, its light will be like the light of sun. You know, the crown will be so bright, so radiant, that it can be resembled, the example could be given to the light of full sun. وَيُكْسَى وَالِدَيْهِ حُلَّةً, and his parents will be given, or will be given hullatan, two garments will be given to them. Okay, two garments will be hullatan. It has been mentioned that bracelets, like bracelets, they will be given. La yaqumu bihima dunya. In one tradition, it is mentioned that they will be given cloth, a very robe, on top of their cloth, is it or metaphorical? But here in this tradition, it's a hullatan. So hullatan, bracelets, very shining bracelet. La yakumu bihimad dunya, and the there will be no equivalent to them in worth in the world. Means they will be priceless. They will be marvelous and priceless, and without any estimation of any comparison to any worldly thing. Fayaqulan, by this kind treatment from Almighty Allah, they would say, I mean the father and mother, they would say, Fayaqulan, Bima kusina. Why we have been given given these two bracelets? Why have been given this treatment? And fayuqal, it will be said to them, bi akhdhi waladikum Quran, because your child has learned the Quran. Bi akhdhi, it includes the recitation. Bi akhdhi, taking, also the meaning, also the application. So everything is included bi akhdhi. When you take something, you take with all it as it, whatever your capacity is that. A small child cannot take the full burden or full weight. So according to his period of life, whatever he takes, that one, say, bi akhdhi waladikum, your child, koma. Now the word koma, it refers to both mother and father. So it says that the learning environment should be facilitated not only by mothers or father, but this is a common parental responsibility from both father and mother. If they provide that facility, that learning environment and motivation and encouragement for their child, be a male or female, then this kind treatment and great blessings of Almighty Allah will be given to them. And because why? Al-Quran, because their child has learned, has taken all that which has been meaning in the Quran. So with this, we like to conclude this session. And inshallah ta'ala, if you want to continue your journey in reading the Quran or learning the Quran, so course 4 is waiting for you. Okay. And or if you have learned, your children have learned, so the next siblings or brother and sister or in your family, they could go to nqc.org.uk, and where there's an online registration. Please register your interest for G1 course or G2. And if you want to facilitate to help our team, as we are going to expand our team, if we are going to break the rooms for example, one room for 10 children, definitely, obviously, we need more sport teachers, more teaching individuals. So please come forward and be part of this exciting program, learning the Quran and teaching the program, and reap the benefits which have been mentioned. خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَ. The best among you is the one who learns the Quran and teaches to it, and this continues. Okay. So with this, I like to thank my my panel, G1, with all G1 in charge and her team, the sport teachers, the teachers and assistants, and G2 in charge and her teaching panel, all team members, including the IT supervisor, who all the time, whenever one class is recorded, within 24 hours, it is uploaded on the website. So please make sure that the class has ended, as a program has ended, but your recitation on daily basis, your learning, your revision, your more involvement with the engagement with the Quran should never cease, because this is a continuous journey. Okay. So with this one, I like to request you, please join me with a silent prayer, so that we we conclude with this silent prayer. Okay, and as we have been taught, first we so glorify Almighty Allah, Subhanallah wa bihamdi, Subhanallah azim, or Surah Al-Fatiha, whatever, and then Salat ala Nabi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammadin, and then after whatever prayer you do, and especially pray for Hazrat Khalifa al-Masih, Allahumma ayyid imamana bi ruhil qudus, Allahumma ayyid Khalifa al-Masih bi ruhil qudus, wa barik fi umrihi wa amrihi, and after that again you say Salat ala Nabi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammadin. So this is short, we will do that in silent mode, so please join me. Ameen, Allahumma ameen. Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.